Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. Okay, cool. I am ready to get started, and if you two are.
Yep. We should be good. Good Lord, I hope we're ready
Okay.
now.
I mean, we got to pick up the kid in 2.5 hours. So,
Okay, that's fine. We'll make this a short.
I mean, worst case, I go get the kid and you.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Let me get my notes up. I should have done that before. before.
Certainly wasted enough time.
Hello and welcome. I'm listening to the you're you're listening to the Yascast. This is episode 3.11 for Workgroups with me, your host Yaseen. Today I am here with Trickle at Family. At Anera Family and Warm-Hearted Snowdrop at Tsukihime, which is .me. Hello, welcome, ladies. How you doing?
Oh, we're good.
We're doing okay.
That's great. That's great. So you two are we're currently doing this on Google Meet, just like I did with the last episode. So I can see both of them and they can see me. They're both currently together and they are sharing a mic for reasons that are way too long-winded to get into. Jen, who is Sim Trucker, was telling me that she had a whole audio setup going on. It was like there was like racks and racks with like wires and lights and dials and shit. I was like, whoa, that is so cool. And then when it came time for it to do its job, poof, fail. We spent like the last half an hour going just me sitting here and Jen Jen going through and unplugging wires and getting all wild and stuff. While Monica over here is just like texting me saying, yeah, so this is happening right now. And this is happening right now. And this is happening right now. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
3 computer restart.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 3 computer restarts. Okay. Well, so now we are at a situation where the two of them are sharing a studio mic, which is fine. I've had worse.
It's fine. It's in Bluetooth hands-free technology.
Anyway, it's good to have you both on here. I'm glad that we could arrange time to get this done. How are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling about this?
Pretty good. I'm just counting the number of times you pronounce my name as Tim Trickle, and I'm going to name something new after you for every single time.
No. Okay, so how am I supposed to pronounce
it? It is pronounced symmetrical. When I came up with it, I was sure nobody would ever get it wrong because people got my last username wrong all the time.
And I got it wrong right away.
Yeah, lucky me.
I mean, like, there are no vowels. So I kind of have to guess. Yeah, exactly. Like, how am I supposed to guess which vowels I'm supposed to put in there? See, Monica is nodding and agreeing with me. That means it's 2 versus 1. Like, you...
I believe the vowels are an exercise for the user.
I mean, now looking at it, I can see why it's symmetrical. But I feel like maybe if you've left a couple more vowels in, it would have been fine. See, this is why Monica's name is much better. Warm-Hearted Snowdrop. I know how to say that because it has the appropriate number of vowels in it. See, if you remove all the vowels from your username, you end up being like an indie band name or some kind of like chemical formula, you know, like an edgy tech starter.
He's an artist, so you know.
That's true. Art is not meant to be understood.
No, I don't actually mind when people get it wrong. It's actually kind of fun.
It is funny. I think it is very funny. No one has mispronounced my username because it's phonetic. So
it has all the right number of vowels in it.
Who could ever get Yassi _J wrong?
That's true. That's correct. I dislike it when websites don't allow the underscore as a special character. Then I have to like have no space and it just becomes Yassage, like sausage or something.
I was thinking sausage, but you know.
The Yassage of Birmingham.
That's so we've been friends for quite some time now. I think ever since Snowden, right?
Yeah. It was, I
It
forget when
started
it
with the
was.
profile pictures. You kept
That's
confusing
true.
yourself for
Oh
them.
my god, yeah. That's when it started. Cause your default QR code esque profile picture, despite having none, like the only things that like it's a it's a QR code, like it's a completely different shape and style and format, and yet somehow the color
You changed
like
your profile
mixture.
picture and it still does that.
I know I have a completely different profile picture. I'll be in a similar style to the Yaseen classic, but it's still we still get each other confused. And I think that's probably when we became friends, like when that first got noticed by someone.
Yeah. And also, after you and Monica became friends.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah,
They
because you
accepted
lost
me
my
first.
follow request. I'm like, okay, they just don't want to do anything with me.
That's right. I followed Monica first, and then she followed me first, and I followed her back first.
Mhm.
But you followed me, and I didn't follow you back until like until like you were like, oh, why do you follow my wife but not me? And I'm like,
I was special for that
who the
one couple day or whatever, couple of days.
it was like, yeah, it was like a couple of days, and I was like, okay then, God, and then I followed you back, and now it's been that way ever since. You've been annoying me ever since, just since then.
Two things: annoying and obviously not audio setup.
Thank you. So, I was having dinner out today, and all of the fork are not clean. So that means I had to use like the least favorite fork. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
don't get me started. We have like 4 flavors of forks, and so many people in this house just won't touch the one that is like cut funky or something. It's the one fork that no one will touch.
The neurodivergent urge to have a favorite utensil.
okay, but here's what makes it funnier, right? Is that
Yeah.
we have all of our cutlery, like the spoons and knives and the fork, they're all from the same set.
Uh-huh.
So despite the fact they all look the same, there is one fork that I feel just has like different vibe to the rest. Even though they look exactly the same, like exactly the same. But this one fork, I don't know, it just has this like vibe to it that I just don't appreciate.
It knows what it
I'm
did.
like, it knows what it did, you know, and I don't like using it.
Is it always
And
the last one in the drawer?
when we have a drawer, like a pot,
Mhm.
like a pot with all the forks in it, and it's usually the last one in the pot. So perhaps the rest of my family also sent like
Evil
the
fork.
negativity around this evil fork. So Jen and Monica are a couple. You are each other's waifus, like in a married way instead of like an anime way. Oh, I guess in an anime way too,
Yeah.
if you wanted to be like that.
No, Eris from Final Fantasy VII is my wife. She's just my wife.
She
Okay.
died.
Spoilers! I can't believe you'd spoil.
Spoil for a game that's almost as old as I am.
Yeah, well, spoilers are spoilers. I mean, that's what led to the downfall of Master Not Law, remember?
There.
In a roundabout way, yes.
Yeah, and like a very
I choose
I
to believe
mean
that it was just cursed.
it was gonna happen sooner rather than later, I
Yeah.
think, with the way Nathan was running the show.
Yeah.
So but I feel like the Harry Potter game spoiler saga was probably the straw that broke the camel's back.
I forgot that that's what kicked that all off.
Yeah, it feels like a very strange like piece of Fediverse lore. It's up there with queer.af being taken down by the Taliban in my eye.
That one I remember. I don't remember if I remember Mass Landau.
It was like a full year before you joined Fetty.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay, yeah. It was like a long time ago. Back in the olden days.
Back in
Back
the
when
ancient
back
past
when
of 2 or 3 years ago, the age
it
and
was
internet times.
it was February 2023.
Hmm.
I remember when I
So
joined.
almost over 2 years ago. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So what's the deal behind your usernames then?
I
Why
took
are
the
you
word
symmetrical?
symmetrical and I took all
Sorry.
the vowels out
Oh, is that it? Okay. But why did you capitalize the T then?
because it didn't look right with a lowercase t. It's entirely visual.
Because she's an artist.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I just typed that out on my notes, and yeah, you're right. It looks
Yeah.
weird without the capital T.
Like,
You know, that's why people pronounce it wrong,
yeah,
because
yeah, the
they just assume
capitalization
it's
just
2
does it.
words.
But it doesn't look right.
Yeah, but there is actually a story. Like, it was just I'm going to be trans on this account, and that way nobody that follows my old account will know. Because every one of us has at least one of those.
She
And,
just kept hers.
and it was symmetrical because I was gender fluid, but then my fluid flowed to femme and it never flowed back.
That's fair enough. And then why are you snow-hearted? No
Warm-hearted.
hearted Born Drop? So warm-hearted Snowdrop.
It's
It's
so
a
easy
very
to
cozy
pronounce.
name. It's a very cozy name.
Well, for a long time, have like the snowdrop flower. It's one of the few flowers that bloom in the wintertime, and I like the cold time. I'm comfortable at a nice, just below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius.
About 18 in
Okay.
rational units.
Okay. And so, but
Oh,
I felt like Snowdrop was just too simple, so I made her come up with an adjective.
Yeah, I made up her name. I wrote her bio. I'm
Mhm.
basically the ghostwriter on all of her posts.
You're not a ghostwriter. You're only a ghostwriter on the out of context one.
Yeah.
So it's a team effort.
Basically.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's true. Wow. Just like marriage. It's
Oh.
so poetic.
We've been married.
I'm shedding a tear right now. So beautiful.
We've been married 11 years now.
Wow, 11 years. I wasn't even born 11 years ago.
Yeah, I forget when it is you sprung fully formed into existence. Wasn't it 2015?
No, my friends believe that I sprung fully formed 2016.
Mm-hmm. I was close.
You were close.
It's been a minute since I listened to that episode.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things I just cannot forget that they just decided that to me. And
Popped into
despite,
existence.
yep. You know, maybe they all held hands in like the car park outside our university and just
Summoned you.
that's it. Summoned me. Specifically to get a degree.
There you go.
Then that's like it. Like out of all the things I could do from springing forth from the ether is to go to university. Instead of like the hero's journey is get a degree and go into student debt. Okay, thank you guys.
I'm just imagining them drawing an arcane sigil on the ground, and in the middle, just putting a little Neptunia plushie, and bam, out you come.
Wouldn't it be Hatsune Miku?
Next
Oh, no.
I know that, but I don't know what Sam's saying about Neptunia because I've never actually watched it.
Okay, so
Or played the games, or oh no, did I just
so
figure an info down?
Neptunia. Yeah, you did. You
Oh
did.
no.
Yeah. I'm gonna explain to you now. You were curious. I'm gonna explain to you now. So Neptunia is a reference to the Neptunia series of video games. So the Hyperdimension Neptunia, more precisely. The series has 4 mainline games, and a whole bunch of spin-offs, and 1 mobile game, and I've played pretty much every game, including the mobile game, up until around about 2018. Anything after that, I haven't really played, but that's because it's not worth it. So yeah, by the way, when I say I played the mobile game, it was or is only available on iPhone. and I have an Android phone.
Oh,
So I borrowed my dad's phone to play it. And let me tell you that it has microtransactions. So I just gave up after like 10 minutes. The main series is Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, 2, 3, and then and then Mega Dimension Neptunia VII, which doesn't mean 7, it means V2, because the third game is actually called Victory, and the V stands for Victory, so it's Victory 2,
that's
because
not
it's equal
confusing
to
at all.
Victory. Yeah, wait till you find out that the first 3 games are remakes of the original game, which came out for the PS3. And then the first game then they're remade for the PS Vita, then re-released for the PS4 and PC. Then the first game alone was remade for the PS5 for some reason, and they only added a fishing minigame, and that's about it. Which means that despite the fact that the PS4 version of the game will work with PS5, there's a PS5 exclusive version
You gotta go fishing.
remaster which has fishing in it.
Yeah.
And because the original game came out for the PS3, this is like a 4K upscaled version of these PS3 assets and textures and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So I've been waiting 10 years for a new mainline Neptunia game.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure which will come out first, the next GTA or the next game. I'm hoping that this year they will like announce it or not. There's a chance they either could happen. And there you go. That's a small deep dive into Neptunia. And oh yeah, Neptune is the main character, and she's my wife. She's literally me.
She's but I don't.
No,
No, is it different
she's not.
Neptunia?
She could be in there though, but
I don't know.
there we go. So yeah, Jen is correct when she says that you could probably summon me by drawing a circle with a Neptunia plushie inside it.
Okay, but you're not allowed to say anything about my name anymore after VII.
Technically, because it's V2, I suppose, but like, I call it VIR. Oh yeah, that game was remade into a version for VR headsets, but it doesn't actually work with any modern VR headset. So,
What?
and it's not in VR. Only like small sections are in VR,
Yeah,
and you can interact with them just fine on a regular computer anyway.
but you can't use any of the like Quest or any of those.
No. It only works with 2 headsets that released around that time, which I think was the Vive and the Rift, and anything after that would just not work. But it doesn't really matter because
'Cause you can do it
nothing
without.
in the game nothing in the game actually requires a VR headset, and the only VR things are like a bunch of cutscenes that I didn't know that I only knew were VR because they exist in 3 dimensions, like you can move around.
Mm,
But that's it.
that's hilarious.
It's a missed opportunity if they didn't call it VRR.
I know, but no, they called it VIIR instead, which I guess is a fair enough pun to make. And that so far has actually been the only Neptunia game I've enjoyed playing,
You
because I didn't actually enjoy playing the first 3 games.
you played them all, but you only enjoyed that one.
Yes, because it's the only one that actually had a competent battle system. The first 3 games are classic JRPGs, but they're very grindy. And if the Neptunia games were like visual novels, then I would recommend them wholeheartedly, but they're not. So there's no point telling anyone to enjoy them. You're better off watching the cutscenes on like YouTube, because that's really all that really matters. The gameplay is like secondary to all of that. That's really the only reason why I enjoy the game so much, because they have really good writing and stuff, but and voice acting. But beyond that, like the gameplay is ass. I mean, it has some good stuff. Like one time you can turn into a fire jet and like shoot down your enemies. in like a battle sequence. That's really cool. But beyond that, like that's kind of it. So there we go. That's the Neptunia game.
There you
Took years off my life not to make a Half-Life 3 joke. You say how long you were waiting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Half-Life 3 will come out before Neptunia 5.
go. The safe,
So I want to ask.
I was gonna say, the safe
Okay,
bet is the
Marcus.
GTA game because they want more
Oh
money.
yeah, that's definitely gonna come out soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, they already delayed it to autumn of this year. It was supposed to come out like around about this time this year, but they soft delayed it to autumn
Yeah.
of this year. So if it comes out then, I'm probably gonna buy it. Maybe.
And stream it.
And yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I do want to ask you guys, how did you find out about Fediverse and all that kind
Mine's easy. I blame her.
of
I joined after she did. She had been on it a while, and
I'm like, just make an account. Make an account on a transfem server. You'll be our token sis.
yep.
So in that case, why did you join Tsukihime then? What was it that drew you to such an
I actually didn't join there first. I had an account on actually 8 Point. Because that's where
8 Point doesn't exist.
not anymore.
Oh right. I don't know. I assumed that it never existed. Like that's my whole I just assumed it was like some sort of like urban legend
Yeah.
that this mythical 8 Point.
Well, to be
existed.
fair, we didn't federate with Snowden, so you were an urban legend to us until I moved off.
Wait, what? 8 Point didn't federate with Snowden?
No.
Yeah, there was like some drama with one of the mods having a problem with MDNI nonsense. And I don't even know. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so 8
I know,
Point,
I know.
I don't think ever really federated with Snowden, or if they did, they blocked it without me noticing. I would hear about this mythical Yaseen, and I had no idea.
So I was an urban legend.
Yeah. Well, no.
That explains why.
No, white trans femme Yaseen was the urban legend, and then I'm like, oh, this is much better. Awesome.
See, this explains why I thought that 8 Point was made up. Because clearly I never federated with them. Like, I'm pretty sure I've never heard this 8 Point in my life. It sounds made up.
Yeah,
I know it's gone anyway, so.
I was on there, I think, less than a year even. Like, I ended up moving to Suki. There was so much drama happening with.
Yeah, around the time I moved to Inaros.
Yeah, it was.
That's the problem. Like, 8 Point has so much stupid Fetty drama around it. There's a reason that you think it's an urban legend.
Yeah.
My monitor just turned off. Give me a second.
Uh-oh. Okay,
it's back. The cable that is connected to my microphone pressed up against the power button. Yeah, so that's I knew that 8 Point did get into like a lot of shit. So I think they had a whole thing with tech like LGBT, but at this point, like who hasn't with 8 Point? Yeah, okay. So then why did you move to Tsukihime? Was it just chill?
I was looking for somewhere new to go, and Jen knew Neko, who was the admin.
My loot account lives on Suki because I knew Neko when we were both on 8 Point before the unpleasantness.
And so it was just, it was somewhere that was not big, not like, you don't want a big server where you don't get anything.
For sure.
It's just a small little server, and I was like, try it out, and I just haven't moved off. I'm comfortable there, and
it's comfy. It doesn't get drawn into every drama wave that happens on Fetty.
Yes.
So funny enough, I actually follow Neko's Facebook page. I didn't know this until like they run a page on Facebook called I would trebuchet this individual into space, right? And it's this very leftist page making fun of the usual bullshit. And at one point she made a post there, and it was like, just so you guys know, if you want to get off Twitter and off Facebook, I run a Mastodon server,
Yeah.
and link is in the comment. And then she linked it, and it was so came in thinking, whoa, wait, hang on, don't I know people from there? That's crazy. I'm like I followed this person on Facebook independently of.
That sounds like a very Neko
Yeah.
thing to do, that Facebook page. The first time I listened to her music was she has an album called Turf Killer. That's a good album, too.
So you're her friend, which means that I'm 2 steps away from her, but I also follow her on Facebook. So and then and it's just a weird intersection here to think about. It's like how someone said that they found out that I'm friends with a girl called Morgan. And they only knew this because Morgan had mentioned me in passing to this person. Like, oh yeah, my friend Yaseen. Like, your friend Yaseen? Yaseen, they're like British. They live in like a British Yaseen, you say. Where does this Yaseen live? Oh, it's like some big city outside London called like Birmingham. And then the other friend was like, okay, do you know this person? And then she linked my bio, whatever. And then I was like, yeah, that's the person I know. That's them. And I was like, what? No way. Like, the world is a very small place online.
Yeah,
If
it is.
you are transgender.
What's even crazier is Jen has a friend who grew up like 2 hours, not even 2 hours away from me, like an hour away from me. I would hang out constantly, like near where I went to high school. Like it's so weird.
Whoa.
Yeah,
They're ganging up on me when I try to convince them that Old Bay is not a good thing.
Old Bay is good.
Old Bay is okay.
Do you guys not have Old Bay seasoning?
Oh, sorry. For the viewer, I'm staring at the two of them with like a confused expression on my face.
Okay.
Seasoning?
It's like
It's a spice blend.
Yeah, it's a spice blend, but it comes from where I grew up. It comes from Maryland. Because there's a lot of crabs there. It's the Chesapeake Bay. It's full of crabs, and it's a really good crab seasoning. But it's really good on other things too. Like,
No, we do not have this. If I did, I probably would have. I mean, I don't even eat crab, so I can't really like.
I've never had
comment
a
on the
crab
crab.
either, so
I have a question though. So in Britain, there's a brand of like American style cookies called Maryland. Is Maryland famous for cookies? Is this like an association you
No,
guys have?
it's
No?
not.
Okay. So I guess they just picked like a random US state and
Probably.
called it Maryland cookies.
Probably,
Like, oh look,
yeah.
just like America, cookies. Oh yeah, that makes sense. America cookies. That's it. I mean, they taste pretty good. They're like a pretty standard. If you want to go for like decent
Yeah.
cookies, they're pretty alright, I would say. Although I much prefer like bigger cookies that are like chewy
Yeah.
in the middle. I prefer those, like the hard,
I like
bitey
soft cookies.
cookies.
Yeah. And cheesecake.
Now I really want. Oh, and I do like cheesecake as well. That is my favorite. Cheesecake is a Yaseen reference.
And she was saying that I should have got her cheesecake at the store last night so she could lord it over you.
What? I can't believe you do that to me.
You can't?
If you No, I can't right now because I'm here with you guys. If I could, I would have gone to the shop to get a cheesecake. But alas.
That actually would have been epic. You're like, oh girls, I got cheesecake. Like, you aren't gonna believe this, Yassie.
Leave you out of the cheesecake.
Cheesecake is made with mascarpone, but I imagine it would be really cursed to make it out of other kinds of cheese. I don't know if it would work with other kinds of cheese, but what if you made it out of like cheddar or something, or like red Leicester, or or Lumi instead of mascarpone?
That would be
It'd
really
be
There's only one way to find out.
That's true, but I don't know how you can make cheesecake without mascarpone. Like that's the cheese and the cheese.
Well, I think some recipes here use cream cheese instead,
Okay. Oh yeah, I suppose.
but I don't know exactly.
I guess if you kind of melt it down, because the thing is that mascarpone and cream cheese are like
Yeah,
creamy, so they're easy to put into cheesecake. Whereas like cheddar and stuff are harder cheeses.
yeah. You'd have to melt it probably.
Yeah, you have to almost make it into a cheese sauce first,
That's right. Yeah.
That's
not your
Mm.
cheesecake.
ugh, ugh. I don't know. That's
What about cheesecake made of like the plastic cheese?
Well, like Velveeta.
baby dough.
No, no, no. Like we call them plastic cheese. Like they come individually wrapped in
Oh
in
yeah,
like
like little
a
Kraft singles.
Oh,
The ones that
yeah
aren't
singles.
legally
Yeah, cheese
allowed to be
singles.
called cheese, and they're like pasteurized cheese product.
Yeah,
uh,
in Britain they're not cheese. They're like cheese single, right? But there's like a
Yeah,
special word that makes them not cheese, and we call it plastic cheese because it looks like plastic and it comes wrapped in plastic.
it
So
tastes a little like
plastic cheese.
plastic too. I mean,
yeah.
The only thing I have ever used that for is for burgers. It is the only time where
mm,
it makes sense.
I find it good if you have a slice of bologna and put one on top and one on bottom.
Like a double down.
No, we have like it's like a salami bolognese. You slice it really thin.
I think she is implying that there would be bread. It's not like a
Oh
double
yeah.
down.
No, I put
Oh,
bread.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, right, okay. Because you didn't mention the bread, I thought I thought it would be like, oh, like without bread, like a KFC double down,
Cold cut double down.
a cold cut double down. You know, I never actually understand the whole premise of a double down. Like, just you just made a sandwich without the bread, and then charged me extra for the privilege,
Yeah.
and then gave it a fancy name.
Yeah, I think you're just paying for the gimmick at that point.
Depends on how much lettuce is priced at. There are places here that will do like lettuce buns instead of. It's weird.
Lettuce buns instead of bread.
Yeah. Like they'll wrap it in lettuce.
Okay, I guess. I mean, honestly, that sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I
a low
only ever
carb
eat
thing.
lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, despite like being linked to bunnies, I don't really like lettuce unless it's in a burger. So a burger made out of lettuce would probably be not too great.
More lettuce. You gotta get good lettuce, not just the cheap
Iceberg.
iceberg that has no flavor. It's like fried delicious apples. They're not good. They're bred for their color.
Ironic. They're called red delicious, and yet they're not delicious at all.
Have you heard the tale of Darth Red Delicious?
It's not a story the food industry would tell you. So, Jen, how did you hear about this federated birth?
There was this website called Twitter. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was kind of niche. And then there was this guy. I think he was like some kind of skinhead. I don't know if anything became of him. He bought it. Yeah, I joined Fetty in that big exodus from Twitter in 2022 when Elon bought it.
Ah, okay.
And I moved around a lot. I went to Dot Social, and then I followed May Dean, the cartoonist, and I was like, oh, she's going to 8 Point, a transfem server. I'm going to do that. And then they had like 5 minutes of downtime, and I said nope. So I moved to Mastodon.lol, and their local timeline was hot garbage. So I moved back to 8 Point, and then
But I was there. I was on that local timeline.
yeah, but it was also full of tech bros too, and ew.
Oh yeah, I do remember the local timeline. Actually, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, like
The amount of times I saw someone with an uncensored picture of their genitalia was way too much time.
yeah. Yeah, I was on
So after
Dot.lol
that,
for
you
like
hopped
3 days. 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
Yeah, so I went from 8 to let's see, I was on tech.lgbt and Eldritch Cafe, and I don't remember which one of those was first. At one point, I moved back to 8, and then off to Church, and then from there, I think back to Eldritch Cafe, back to 8, and by that point, like they were just kind of done with the SETI drama, and people were leaving them alone. But I kept having to ask for things like, "Hey, we need a security update," and the admins were distracted with other shit. And I was at the point of like, okay, I need to either bully them into letting me on staff, or I need to find somewhere else. And right about that time, a few friends of mine had started a server together called Family. And I'm like, hey, can you give me an invite? And my friend Faith said, well, okay, we got to vote on whether we let you in, though. And I died. But they had the vote and they let me in anyway.
You wonder why you have so many alts. How many accounts did you just mention?
Yeah. There are more.
Okay.
Oh, I know there are.
Yeah, but Anara's is my forever home.
That's funny. That explains why sometimes I will try and tag you in something, and the list that appears is like, okay. None of these are the right one.
Yeah. Well, also, I have a lot of alts in other places just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the same thing as when I try to tag you. I'm like, no, I don't want to tag Yassie_J at heck and how, but thank you. Yeah, I try to make it clear, like all the alts say like symmetrical distributed node or whatever, and the one that actually says like Jen is the one at Anaris.
The one that has the longest name is most definitely my main account. The one.
I wish they would list them by most recently active.
Right.
Because it's that one.
Well, it could be worse. Like Mastodon, it's actually doing a soft search when you tag somebody. So, like right now, like Yassie, your display name is like Yasmira. I could type at Yasmira, and it would suggest Yassie_J at Labyrinth.zone.
Oh, cool.
Akoma doesn't do that, and as far as I can tell, last time I checked, none of the Miskey forks do that either. And Mastodon does the same thing with emojis as well. Like you have to type the name exactly.
So Akoma, that when you try and tag someone in Akoma, sometimes it breaks and just doesn't work at all, which is great. This happens when like there's a very complicated or long thread. So you know the huge fucking post where people name things after me, and people have replied consistently, and there's like 100 replies. So that post is way too big for a coma to load successfully. So whenever I try and make a new addition to that, and I try and tag someone, it just doesn't work. But sometimes it won't work anyway. Sometimes you can search by their username rather than the handle, and sometimes it'll work, and sometimes it just doesn't work anyway. Yeah, Akoma is a hodgepodge, I think, of many different things.
Yeah. I love Akoma,
but there are, I'm just like, why is like tagging people so broken? And I mean, honestly, search is pretty bad, so I think maybe it's related to that. Yeah, I would never search anything on Akoma. That's the reason why I have so many old accounts, is so I can search.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, Miskey usually has pretty good search when you do it there.
Yeah.
I feel like Sharky search is kind of wonky, but it seems like iShrimp has the most reliable and accurate search. As long as it's indexed or whatever. I don't really know how that works or anything like that, but it seems to be fine.
Yeah, it is funny you mentioned that thread, because when you set up Akoma and you dig into the settings, one of the MRF things is hell thread policy. I'm like, oh yeah, Yassie is the reason this exists.
Yeah, Val has set the hell thread limit to, I think, 20 mentions.
Oh, wow.
And to be honest, I think after that point, like, you are not engaged in a conversation, you are engaged in some kind of horrible, hideous thing.
Yeah.
And one of the bonuses of this policy is that occasionally there will be like accounts on Mastodon that will mass tag people in like some mutual aid shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen this.
Oh yeah.
Jen. And they will tag as many people as their character limit will offer them. Which is 500, right? On Master, yeah, 500. And usually that is enough to go over the health red limit. So I never see these, even though I do get tagged in them, but I never see them, which is great. I honestly hate them so much. It is so fucking annoying. And they've recently adopted a new tactic, which is to publicly tag me in a post saying, and say, "Hi, can you please spare me $100 to help me with this?" I'm like, no, I don't even have $100 for me. What? Like, what? Why would I give it to a stranger who just randomly tags me?
Not like have anything else on their profile. Like, make me think
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
a person first. Like
it is so sus,
Yeah.
Like, I would never give $100 to someone who just looks like they don't. Like, even if it was true at face value, I still don't know this person. I still don't know why I have a reason to give them money. Like when other mutual aid stuff comes up, like it is from a person, and so like, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I know this is actually gonna go
It's gonna
hopefully
be
somewhere.
yeah.
But with you have like one post and all of them are the same message over and over. Like, how do I not know this is like a bot or a scam or something?
You're farming for money for an easy cash grab. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
And the big one lately is just getting a DM, and always from someone called like the Fediverse chick. And
Sorry, what?
yeah, it's like this DM. I don't even remember what it is, but it's always the same spiel. And the annoying thing about that is, like, you got to report it to forward it to their instance. So I'll get an email that says Anars.family report. Oh, oh fuck! What's happening now? What do we get into? And oh, thank God, it's just a spammer.
You're a moderator on there, right?
Yeah, all of us on
Nice.
Anaris are moderators. We do it collectively.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's why they have
And that's
to
why you can get to add emojis.
yeah. That's why they have to vote each other
Yeah.
in too.
So basically, like, we put someone up for a vote and say, I vouch for this person, and we need a unanimous vote for them to come in.
Makes
With
sense.
extra fiddly bits, like in case somebody hasn't been active lately, like we tried to sort all that out. But the nice benefit of that is everybody that joins Anaras basically had to join by forming a de facto web of trust. So, like, the dot family name is actually pretty apropos at the end of the day.
I was gonna say that, including the word apropos. I was gonna say
I love the word apropos.
it's a very nice word. Shame it's from French though or something. We should remove all Latin and French instruments from the English language.
We would have no
Then it'll
English
be
left.
No, most of English is actually Germanic.
yeah, that's right.
fair.
Most of English is Germanic. I think like a third or like a bit more than that is like French and Latin origin. So once we remove all those words and replace them with perfectly appropriate Germanic substitutions, it'll be the world's perfect language. And we'll keep all the other like foreign influence, like words like bungalow, for example, which is Indian, or pajama, which is also Indian, or like tattoo, which is from a Polynesian language, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, or
But
anime,
so we can
which is
or anime,
French. Wait,
which is yeah. Never mind.
it's a loan word from Japanese, but they stole it from the French.
From French. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Like in Japan, for example, the word Viking means buffet
Hmm.
because the first buffet in the country was called Viking.
Hmm.
That's what I read on Wikipedia.
All the scholars would lose their mind losing all the Latin.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, if you
That's
take all the
true.
Latin out, English is still going to be a huge trash fire.
Oh, that's fair.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, like, if you think about it, it is a language from it's a Germanic language, so it's heavily influenced by the Anglo-Saxons who invaded, and then but before them were like the Celts who had their own language,
Mhm.
So, and then, higgity piggity. Oh, and also the Vikings appeared at some point or another in that frame. So even before the Norman invasion in 1066, English was still like the hodgepodge of different various language families clumped together.
Yeah, they should just burn it down. English is horrible and I hate it, but it's the language I speak best.
So you don't speak any other language.
I speak a little bit of a few, but I don't speak them conversationally or fluently.
Mm, mm.
No, just burn it down or replace it with a good conlang.
Like Esperanto or something?
Yeah. I was
Or
thinking of
Chakapana.
I was thinking of Logstein because I can't remember the new hot conlang, which is annoying because there were questions about it on the last Yascast, and I'm gonna get so much shit for saying that now. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
Oh, Chakapana.
Yes. Yeah, but then you have that XKCD comic that you can converse, but only with the people that have taken the time to learn a conlang.
Well, it sucks to suck, I guess.
Instead, we can all just learn telepathy.
God no.
Oh man, no, that's like that'd be horrible actually, because then I could just speak to you without being able to ignore you. Like
I don't like that
I
in
could
Hitchhiker's
just be
Guide,
like
isn't
give
it?
you the sun, like just give you the silent treatment, and then you just telepathize your words in my brain. Like no, like I can't do that. No, unless you could turn it off, like block incoming
That would be probably required.
communication.
No, my helmet, Charles.
People might have more brain power.
No, there's a planet like that in Hitchhiker's Guide, I think, where everybody is a telepath, so they've all just learned to not think anything so that they actually get peace and quiet.
What a great book series! I read that in secondary school. The school library had all of the books, and I just read them like one by one in series. And you just reminded me of that. My favorite was the Restaurant End of the Universe. That was quite fun. That was like a very fun story. I think that was my favorite of all the books in the series.
Yeah. I like a lot of stuff in the later ones, like how flying is just the act of throwing yourself at the ground and missing.
Well, that is kind of how flying works.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm a drone pilot. That's literally all I do is throw myself at the ground and then fail to hit it.
taking off is easy, but landing is the hard part.
Landing is easy. Soft, controlled landings that you did on purpose, those are hard.
Surviving.
Surviving the landing is difficult. Yeah, as I know from playing Flight Simulator, if it ever was. Speaking of video games, though, one time I remember I was trying to engage with this woman in a romantic and sexual way, and she was just curious about like what things I was into. It's like, oh, I play video games and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, what are your favorite video games? And then so I listed them. So I said, oh well, I really enjoyed So I listed some. So I listed like the Tomb Raider series, um, the Neptunia games, of course,
Mm.
and I mentioned a couple of other games. Like I mentioned, a Spiritfarer, which is a cozy game about
Yeah.
death.
Yeah.
Like it's fun. You should play. Everyone should play Spiritfarer. I think it's a very moving experience. And I mentioned like a couple of other games, and then the last game I mentioned was Grand Theft Auto, and then she really fixated on that. And I was like, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe that you enjoy Grand Theft Auto. It's like such a violent video game, and it's misogynistic too. You can kill hookers and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
Is this
can,
like the
but I
moral?
choose not to. Like,
I mean, I don't do that. It's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, of course the game is misogynistic, but it's not like it's like the game is many many different is at the same time. And also at the same time, it's like I listed a whole bunch of other games here,
right?
and the one you focus on is Grand Theft Auto, and apparently, like this is like the thing you fixate on, like yes, Grand Theft Auto is a violent video game series, but that doesn't mean I go out and kill people or steal cars or whatever. Yeah, It's like if playing Mario made you like want to eat mushrooms and become a plumber.
But I do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what you do in your personal time. That's not up to me, you know. Or maybe like playing like City Skylines actually makes you a city planner. Like once you finish a session,
Yeah.
you just head to your local town hall and you can immediately plan the next new neighborhood for them. Because that's what it's. And I was just thinking, man, I can't believe like this person's like lecturing me on morality, like this is the Victorian era, and I'm thinking, is this worth it? Is it worth it
And
to
honestly,
get some
sounds like she was
from this
looking
woman?
for an excuse.
That's right. She was looking for some confront.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
also has
God.
some weird stuff. That's true. She also has some weird stuff about transgender issues.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say I don't think she was like a TERF,
Yeah.
but she wasn't exactly like
In the
pro
know.
trans. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like one point or another she kind of doubted the like authenticity of being non-binary.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
yeah, and then this grounded all thing was like the final thing that made me go, ah, you know, she is pretty hot, but this isn't gonna work out if I do. Like even if it was just like casual, I would still be thinking about how.
Brand.
Pardon me. Just this rant was like I was thinking, yeah, like if she never said anything to me while we were hanging out, maybe it would be okay. But maybe not. So yeah, I hope she's doing okay, you know, because I hope she's moved on and become a better person.
At least she
Because
did it up front, and you didn't have to slow
that's
get it out of her.
true. Yeah. Like, can you imagine like being deep into that, and then I just like boot up Grand Theft Auto, and she's like, "I can't believe you're playing a violent video game." I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. I've already nutted in her, and now she's lecturing me.
Yeah.
Would I be able to have a copy of this on the virtual learning environment on Moodle? No? Okay. Yeah. And it's not to say that like you can't criticize Grand Theft Auto because there's a lot of things
Oh, there's a
to
lot of things.
criticize about the
Yeah.
series, you know, and obviously like there is misogynistic elements within some of the characterization and the writing and so on. But to jump from this video game has elements that are problematic to you are problematic yourself for playing it. It's like a huge jump, you know. It's like playing Grand Theft Auto is it's just a popular game series at this point. Like if you haven't played it, then
Oh,
you know you're missing out on a large piece of culture.
You know, I first played GTA 5 after I tried Watch Dogs 2, so I feel justified in saying GTA 5 is dog shit.
Oh really?
Uh, no, GTA 5 is okay, but Watch Dogs is just more fun to me because there's a lot of like, oh, cool, I can just hack this instead of having to run in there and let them shoot me. Then I hop into a car and it starts playing a dual core song, and I'm like, hey, I love that group. Yeah, Int 80's rapping about hacking all the things. I'm down with this.
I played all the Watch Dogs games. I do have Watch Dogs Legion. Um, one thing about Watch Dogs Legions is that obviously it's set in London, and some of my real life knowledge of London did come in because I was like, oh, I recognize like this portion of London.
yeah.
If I turn left here, there's like an alleyway I can cut through and things like that. Obviously, it is condensed down
Yeah.
Yeah.
to remove all the annoying parts about driving around London.
Not driving through
As
neighborhoods and running over kids, you know.
Suspicious silence.
the court didn't find me guilty, so I'm okay.
Is that why you're always abandoning those cars outside the government buildings? They're evidence.
Yeah, I feel like Watch Dogs and GTA are like obviously people claim that Watch Dogs is like GTA with hacking, and I get that because there's always this kind of like expectation that any game set in an open world with music and cars is
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, and I feel like they both have their strengths and their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Uh, in many different ways, and I feel like comparing them is kind of not really right because they're going for a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
It's like trying to compare. It's like trying to compare, like, I don't know, like two different JRPGs. They both have different stories and different plot elements and stuff. Like the only thing that is the same is the JRPG style,
Yeah, they're
but
mechanically
beyond
similar.
that, the mechanics. Beyond that, they're completely different, separate, kind of game.
Yeah,
But yeah, I did enjoy. But I did enjoy Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs. I enjoyed Watch Dogs Legion a little bit less than the first two because I feel like the players any protagonist element is very cool on like a headline grabbing thing. But as you play it, you kind of work out these a lot of these characters are actually kind of like the same archetype. So it gets a bit tiring after a while. And I much rather that it had a focused uh protagonist, which they did in the DLC, which I haven't played. I would like to. Um and apparently that's way cooler. So who knows? Um Another video game I played recently that has political elements is Road 96. It
We didn't
is
get into that. I have it on the PS4. I just haven't
is
really touched it.
it is a really have you played it, Monica?
No, I've seen it played though on a stream before.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So the game is set in a fictional country that is not inspired by any countries that exist today. And just so you know, the game was published in like 2016, I think, or something. No, sorry, 2020. Um, so yeah, no relation to any sitting leaders of any country at that time. um, and the game is set in this in the late 90s in this country that is a totalitarian dictatorship. Uh, and you play one by one, but as a series of different teenagers that are attempting to escape the country by going to the northern border to cross over into their much friendlier and safer neighbor. Again, no commentary on any real life countries at all there. Um, yeah, and and again, just to let you know that the game measures your distance to the border in miles, and the mile signs are rectangular and white. Again, no, no commentary in any countries that exist in the present day. And obviously, the game is very, very political and very explicitly so. And I think it's one of the few like very popular games that explicitly has a kind of anarchistic, anti-fascist, anti-state undertone to it. Like you can play in like three different ways. One is the hardcore anarchist way. One is like this liberal political way, and the final way is this is like a selfish way. Essentially, like you're only focused on getting across. You don't care about like making Petria safe. And the game very clearly wants you to take one of the other two paths, like two paths that will benefit Petria. And I think that's really, really good. However, it is a kind of, however, the thing about it is that it's still split between those two paths. It is at once very, it is one, it, it wants you to simultaneously push you towards being a revolutionary and also towards being a liberal, essentially. So, or, the game's basic, like message is revolution should be um revolution should happen when the situation demands it, and revolutionaries may have to take drastic action in order to ensure that revolution comes about for the benefit of everyone. But also, if you vote hard enough, the good guys will win. And that is like the two main messages of the game. And you can see that it tries to do both, but doesn't do either of them quite as much justice as it should do. And it is kind of annoying to me that when you go down the liberal path, it seems to not really talk about the downsides about doing that as much as it talks about the downsides of the revolutionary path in the end. Um, which uh, I mean, you gotta also remember that this game was like sponsored by HP, so
How
there
much
is that kind of
influence was there? Yeah.
how much influence was, and also you don't want to really bite the corporate hand that feeds you. But in terms of games that have a strong political message, this is up there, I think, with any game that does have that kind of stuff. And not to mention, it's like the music is amazing, the stories are really good, the characters are really, really incredible, and you can make so many different decisions that affect like smaller things throughout the game. Like for example, in one run I did, I decided to help one person, and then later on in another run that I did, that person came back around to help out that teenager that I was with. I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" So
Yeah.
these little bits here and there, the stories kind of in point of fault. It's fun. It's fun. I recommend that you play it for yourself. Or as one reviewer put it on the Xbox store, I rate this 6 out of 10 because this game is clearly biased against Trump.
Hmm.
And they're like, okay, so that's a good thing, right? Like,
If you had a
like,
brain, it would be 10 out of 10.
it's like, so you're telling me that the bad guy in the game, who is an authoritarian dictator who sends teenagers to death camp, is Trump? Huh?
You said it, not me.
Yeah, like that is quite a comparison.
Yeah.
Like, no one is saying that, but you, man, you are the one who sees Trump
You
in
made that correlation,
this
dude.
guy. Yeah. And it's funny when you have like any media that tries to engage like deeply with politics or anything like that. There'll always be some guy who thinks that the bad guy, who is explicitly a bad guy, is somehow the good guy. Like, I've seen people on the internet comment about this game, and they say that they think that that Tyrak, the leader,
Mhm.
is the good guy. The good guy is the dictator of this oil-rich country who has closed itself off and sends teenagers to death camp. How you played the same game as me? How did you miss the the message here? Like, literally everyone's like, "Wow, Tarek is such a bad guy for sending teenagers to death camp." Like, you play as a teenager who is at risk of being sent to a death camp. If you get caught by the police, you are sent to the death camp. How did you play through the eyes of a teenager in this game and come to the conclusion that the person who is sending you to the death camp is the good guy?
It's like that post that goes around Fetty. The surest way to find a Nazi is to say something against Nazis and wait to see who defends them.
Actually, they're not Nazis. They're economically anxious people. That's right. When I'm worried about how poorly I'm paid, I too become virulently Islamophobic and anti-Semitic and
Yeah.
homophobic. That's the only way to do. And sometimes when I think about how bad the country is, I immediately think about all those transgenders. Those people are the ones who are ruining the country, not the people who got us in this economic mess.
Don't forget the illegals, too.
Of course.
The illegals
Yeah.
too. It's the illegals as
Yeah.
well. The illegals. Gotta make sure to humanize them as much as possible
Yes.
by calling them the illegals. Like, anyone who uses the and then an adjective to describe a group, like the illegals, the blacks, the gays, the Jews. Why did you say it like that?
They have to dehumanize them.
They're telling you something without telling you.
It's a dog whistle. It's another classic dog whistle. Like, when people use DEI,
Yeah.
I feel like they want to use it instead of the N word or instead of like another slur. Like, oh, you're a DEI hire. They really mean they want to call you a slur, but they know they can't say that because using slurs is bad. But using the word using the term DEI is a neutral.
acceptable.
Yeah, they
It's
don't even
socially
think that
acceptable.
slurs are bad. They think that if I say a slur, then all of these woke liberals, they're going to get on my butt about this.
Exactly, yeah. It's not that they know that slurs are bad, it's that they know that slurs will incur a negative reaction
Yeah.
from other people. And so by using the word DEI or woke or whatever, they can they can get around it by using this softer term. Gerrymandering, for example, like when you think about gerrymandering, the main reason in the US at least, is to fracture the vote of minorities. When you think of it like that, gerrymandering is actually a racist
Very much so.
concept.
No, the United States wouldn't do anything racist. It's not like we're
No,
founded on
of
the
course,
concept or
of
anything.
of course not. And if you think about like after slavery was outlawed after the Civil War, of course, except in cases of imprisonment.
Mhm.
Now, can you tell me what group makes up the highest proportion of prisoners in the United States?
Temporarily disgraced white millionaires, of course.
Of course, that's right. Yeah, yeah. White millionaires, they're the ones who are being attacked by our very society. And so when you think of it like that,
Yeah.
slavery is illegal except in case of imprisonment. Then you think about, well, hang on, wait a minute. But then which ethnic group is the largest portion of prisoners? Huh. I guess in a way, slavery wasn't really outlawed. And then of course you think about gerrymandering, which is an attempt to crack or pack voters of the Democratic Party who are more likely not to be of a certain ethnic minority. And you think, wait, again, there are ways around the anti-discrimination legislation just by redrawing a few districts here and there. And suddenly there's a reason why, the politics looks like this, because the people who should have a say in how their country is run have their votes diluted by people who in a fair election wouldn't have that opportunity. So shouldn't have the opportunity.
To the start, it's just gonna get worse.
Mm,
Well, it's been
yeah,
getting
I
worse
feel
for a
like
long time.
yeah, and Trump is like the epitome, I think, of that of that kind of sliding
Yeah.
backwards, downwards kind of thing. I don't think like, and I think the thing is that Trump is playing king without actually having the powers of such, which
No.
I think is an important thing to know. Like
No one's stopping
he's
him.
only a no one's stopping him, but remember he is only like I'll give you an example, right? So Bangladesh recently underwent a revolution in the summer, and they deposed their longtime fascist dictator, who was in power for for as long as I can remember, really. I
Mhm.
think ever since I was a teenager or something, right? And no, and her existence was like seen as like inevitability, right? Like
Yeah.
she would be there forever until she died. Like no one could imagine a world without Casina being prime minister. And then, and the thing is that there was like this deal, right? Even if you're a dictator, you still kind of have to follow like some kind of idea of what your people want. So the kind of unspoken deal was, okay, well, I will keep eroding, this very fragile democracy, but in return, I will give everyone insane economic growth. And then she did promise all that. She delivered on that. And then economic growth started to stall and slow. Things got worse and worse. And it's like people got really fed up. And especially when she tried to change the constitution and when she tried to because the main thing was that she wanted to enshrine work quotas that were going to give most public sector jobs to people who were loyalists. Um, in a country where the education is seen as like the best way forward, that was not going to fly. And so people protested about that, and then the protest grew and grew and grew. And it's like, well, actually, the economy stuck. She promised everyone, you know, that we would all be healthy and wealthy. None of that has happened. She must go. And she almost got lynched. She narrowly escaped the country in a helicopter. So the thing about Trump is that he has made no such deal. He's made a deal with like his people, you know. He will give them riches and so on and so forth. But even now, that's not really happening. And I think it will only be a matter of time until he ends up in a similar situation to Sheikh Hasina. And I hope to God that he doesn't escape by helicopter and the crowd manages to get him. And, you know, in Minecraft, of course, that's right, in Minecraft.
I mean, even
So
the
you know
people
when
who voted for him are like, why isn't he saving our jobs that everyone's
yeah,
getting fired
and
from? And, you know,
They watched him
he,
betray every one of his supporters for the last 50 years, and they're like, but surely he wouldn't do that to us.
but it's still honestly it is a good thing. Like remember, he's only been there for like a month and a bit now, so it's really early days, and we're already seeing this kind of Trump regret already. And I feel like you got to remember that the thing about an authoritarian leader like Trump and the way that he is leading in fashion is that he will only remain in post for as long as he keeps up his end of the bargain. And he clearly is not doing any of that. And it's only a matter of time until the Capitol gets stormed again, but in a good way this time. Like I feel like if the American people, you know, drew on that revolutionary spirit that started their nation without the colonialism, then then it's only a matter of time before something fucked up happens. And think of all the fascist dictatorships in history. They have fallen because eventually, you know, like Assad, he fell eventually. Like he was also going to be eternal and forever. Like people were saying that the Syrian civil war would never fucking end, and it did in like less than a week. You know, there was so many things came into play there, and suddenly he was incredibly weak, and now he's gone. And who must go? Assad must go, and he fucking did. So don't feel like Trump is forever, because he is as limited as any other dictator in history. It's just that it will be televised this time. Very well so.
Mythbuster style. We're going to attach a GoPro to the blade of the guillotine in Minecraft.
In Minecraft, of course.
I certainly would never make an actionable threat against an elected official.
I would also never do that. I would never make any threat to any official of any government of any kind, sitting or
past or present
not sitting,
or
past or
future.
present, or future even, future even. Yeah, that's right. If any future leader appears, then I will also not make any threats against them. You know, I'm a big supporter of government, as you know.
Yeah, that's good.
The first
That's
thing I
not the
do
kind
when
of
I
vibe we want on this podcast.
It's very useful occasionally.
the first thing I do when I get out of bed every morning is I thank the government for existing. Uh, you know, I love the state so much and all the things it's done for me. Like uh you know, the post the postal service. No, that got privatized. So I can't thank them for the postal service. Um the NHS, I guess I can thank them for that. Despite the fact it like has funding issues, but I can thank them for the NHS. There we go.
There you go.
I will That's it. That's it. And also no, I think that's pretty much it. Like roads and the NHS. That's pretty much all I can really think about at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget the most important job of the state, to ensure the continued existence of the state. And I am glad to give up my life and livelihood so that tomorrow the state will still be there to do state things to us.
Wow, that's true. That really makes you think really hard about 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 the state.
This is the birth of statist symmetrical.
Are you gonna make another alt?
God.
Uh, I mean, look, the state does good things like regulating our water. Well, not in this country because all of the beaches and all the waterways are full of sewage,
Oh,
raw sewage.
yeah.
Um, well, there's regulating industries. Um, well, actually, no, not really. That doesn't happen here.
We used to have
There's
those.
there's regulate there's uh food safety. That's one thing we actually do have. That's good. I thank the state for the NHS, for roads, and for food safety.
Telling you when your food
Ex-
expires.
yeah, except that also kind of no. I just realized that there's lower standards for food from outside the UK than there is food inside the UK because
Yeah.
because of Brexit. Okay, so never mind that fun.
Wait, y'all have food safety standards? What's that like? I remember we used to have
It's
that,
good.
but 2024 was a hell of a time.
so so here's a fun fact for you: is that in the UK, ice cream can be legally sold without cream or dairy or milk or butterfat or anything. Whereas in the US, ice cream is a very specific thing that must be sold with at least like 5% buttermilk?
Mhm.
No, butterfat, I mean. And anything below that is a frozen dessert product.
Yeah.
So imagine that every ice cream in Britain is a frozen dessert product. We don't have real ice cream in this country unless you pay for like the luxury stuff. And even then, there's no guarantee that that is actually ice cream. It's crazy. And I thought I was going insane 'cause I think like my ice cream really tastes like crap recently. And yeah, it turns out that every regulation about what constitutes ice cream is basically, eh, as long as it has something
Related.
in it,
Looks like ice
related,
cream.
like
Yeah.
if it looks like ice cream, it's fine. Like you can put like potato fat, like potato oil in there or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as it's freezable and has sugar in it. That's ice cream. Crazy. So, you guys have that going for you. Like when you go see a tub that says ice cream on it, it is actual, real, genuine ice cream.
Please, we need to send you some ice cream. And also
Yes,
those frozen
yes, you
yogurt
should.
bars.
The Yaz bars or
The
whatever.
Yasso bars.
Yeah. So
The
I
what?
sent you a picture of the hell once, didn't I?
yeah.
Yeah, there's like a brand
Oh,
of frozen yogurt called Yasso.
oh, right. On the Yasso bar. Yeah, I really want to try one of those. I think that'll be cannibalistic. I don't like mint though, so don't send me that.
I mean, you
Wait,
already
how would
told
you?
me
I
I'm
mean,
trying it before you said cannibalism, but
I don't
it's
know.
it's thick and creamy, just like me. At least I hope it. Make sure to eat it with your least favorite spoon.
No. No. No.
he doesn't believe that spoons are to be used for ice cream. Ice cream is a fork product.
Ice cream is a fork product?
If it's good enough ice cream, it can be eaten with a fork. Anything that needs a spoon is cereal or soup. Those are the only two things that need a spoon. Everything else can be eaten with a fork.
You guys can't see my facial expression, but I'm again staring at Monica like she's asked me for my kidney.
Which she
Ice
with a
cream
fork.
eaten with a fork?
Yeah.
I've seen her do it. She somehow manages to clean the bowl out doing it.
With a, I mean, eating a cake with a fork, I get, but like ice cream with a
If it's good enough ice cream, it will stick to itself.
yeah, I guess so. All right, yeah, fine, whatever, man.
Or you wait until it turns into soup and then drink it.
Ice cream soup.
Ice cream soup. I do love ice cream sticks. That is quite yummy. But of course, I thought until then, I thought Jen was the weird one and you were the normal one. But it turns out like the opposite is true. Jen is the normal one and you're the weird one.
I hide it well.
I'm the weird one, and she's the weirder one.
That's true. Okay, weirder and weirder. Right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you guys have a favorite flavor of ice cream? A favorite, so to speak?
I do actually. There's this one particular flavor of Haagen-Dazs. It's like honey almond caramel.
Ooh.
Honey ice cream is delightful, and I honestly feel a little bad going back to ice cream that's not sweetened with honey after that. It's so good.
I'm a simple. I'll do vanilla strawberry, but we have one supermarket here called King Supers. It has, and their brand, their store brand, has this like unicorn ice cream that has like sprinkles in it. It's really good.
It's
And it's trans-colored too. Yeah.
I'm not the first time
know-
she's eaten trans.
Yep, I can tell you two are married already. Like that is.
I'm sorry, I could just see your brain fracturing from that one.
Oh boy, it's a good thing. Good thing that no podcast host so far has told me to turn on the explicit content button.
I mean, that's what the editing is for, right?
Right? Yeah. Just cut this whole section out.
Just a note in your Audacity file now. Jen being Jen, cut.
That'd be so fun. I feel like oh, I also wait. Fuck! I closed my notes by mistake. Yeah, I think fuck, I had a thought and I forgot it. I'm gonna have to edit this whole like black section out.
We're talking about lewd here.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about lewd. Right.
And ice cream.
And
ice cream.
trans ice cream.
And ice cream. Yeah, my ice cream. That's right. We're talking about ice cream. So my favorite flavor of ice cream, just as an aside, by the way, my favorite flavor of ice cream is I do love salted caramel.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a flavor in general, I love caramel is good, fudge, chocolate if none that's available. And Neapolitan is always a good match. If you make sure to get all three of them together in like one go.
I'm not a big
I'm
fan
not a
of
big story
chocolate.
person. Oh really?
Yeah. I'm weird. I don't like chocolate cake. I don't like chocolate ice cream.
Well, to be fair, I mean chocolate ice cream is a different kind of chocolate to like regular chocolate, at least in my experience of tasting chocolate. Yeah, there's this place that you can go to that you can make your own ice cream, your own ice cream lollies. So you pick like the inner filling, and then you pick a coating, and you pick like a drizzle, and you pick some toppings too.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Like I go there, I'm like, I want this with this. Like you can just make as whatever combination you want. Kind of like Subway, I suppose.
Yeah,
But without like the
we kind of have a place
without the
like
pedophilia
that.
and stuff.
Yeah, we have a place that you can go and do that kind of stuff. I think it's called Cold Zone.
Ah.
Yeah.
And this is real ice cream, not like fake British ice cream. This is real actual ice cream. You can taste the difference. They use real ice cream, and that's really why I go there, because I know that they use real ice cream that has like real ice cream stuff in it instead of fake potato starch or whatever shit. Like you would be surprised what crap they put in British ice cream to cheapen out on the flavor. And like this is before like all the present day shrinkflation, shitflation bullshit. So I can't imagine how awful it is now. Like it was already pretty bad before. Now it must be even worse. So we're at like 1.5 hours. Shall we move on to the question? If you'd like to. Excellent. Great. I'm gonna bring up the questions post. So we have 15 top level replies on this post. So that's probably 15 questions. Okay, great. So as an aside, I did create this post about a week ago. And we were supposed to record, but things got weird with timing. But we're recording today. You know what? It doesn't even matter to you, the audience. Like this episode will come out whenever it comes out. Like I don't think. Like I guess when I send this out to be published, like a week ago is like a small fraction of that whole time. Anyway, so the first question is from Penamite Evocatus, who is at Anakita at Labyrinth.zone. The question is, where does one find sewing supplies in Antarctica?
I mean, I would say mail delivery. I don't think you can get a helicopter there, but you can probably get planes there.
I have to assume there's needle and thread somewhere in McMurdo.
Well, you could also probably find it in a health station because they probably can sew people.
As far as I know, there's like 5 buildings in Antarctica, and it's all that one station where the thing took place.
Hmm.
If it's still there after they blew it up.
To what took place?
The movie, The Thing, by John Carpenter.
Oh!
Yeah. Everything I know about Antarctica basically comes from that movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Because when you said the thing took place, I'm like, are you gonna elaborate on what thing took place? But no, you meant the thing, as in
That's the title.
as in the thing, which I have seen, and I yes, exactly.
No, it's in that place where I put
Yeah,
that thing that time.
yeah, McMurdo is probably your best bet since it's the biggest of all the bases in Antarctica. Actually, the interesting thing about Antarctica is that the Antarctic Treaty comes up for renewal in 2048, I think.
Oh god.
And so under the terms of the present Antarctic Treaty, all claims to Antarctica are suspended.
Yeah.
So even though there are multiple different claims, like for example, and like Argentina, Chile's, and Britain's claims overlap each other, as for now they are suspended. So even though the claims exist, they just kind of don't really.
It just there as a
Um,
reference point.
they- yeah, exactly. The other thing about the Antarctic Treaty system is that both the US and Russia, despite not claiming any Antarctic territory, do have a stake in the Antarctic,
Yeah.
which neither country has like tried to use it, because there's really no point right now. Like if they did try and make a claim, it would just be frozen. So the thing is that Antarctica has a serious amount of natural mineral resources, like oil and elements or whatever. And obviously, mining is prohibited under the Antarctic. Most of the work that happens is scientific in nature. So it is pristine. Antarctica is pristine and free of much human intervention besides the few bases that are around. The thing is that my worry at least, and the worry of many other people, I'm sure, is that in 2048, when the treaties come up for renewal, my worry is that the military aspect of the treaty will be modified to allow for military exploration, which would then lead to drilling and so on and so forth. 2, the limits on commercial activity in the area, which includes mining and drilling and so on and so forth. And 3, the status of claims to Antarctic territory. Because, like I said, the US and Russia reserve a right to make a claim. So if commercial activity and military activity become legal, then the US will obviously, and Russia too, will obviously try and make a claim to as much of the mineral rights in Antarctica as possible. And yeah, after it annexes Greenland, of course. So we have like 20 years until then. So I don't know, maybe in 20 years from now, like there might not even be United States. Or
You
Hold my hopes out for world peace.
that's true, like in a world peace way,
Yeah.
Jen. Okay. The next question is from Gas Mirror, agender flag, transgender flag, who is me. My question to you two is: do you believe the usual? Why do I use the fancy name for this? The English name for this. Do you believe the Riz or Gementio? No, there's no Tio. Whatever. Do you believe? Do you see this backfired on me? Do you believe that the Riz or Gemento of 1861 was a mistake?
I looked that up and I had a smart ass answer for it because I don't know shit about history. I can't remember what it was going to be
It
now.
was the reunification of Italy, woman.
Yeah, I know that.
I had to look it up.
Yeah, like you were like saying, I know what it is, but I also had to look it up as well.
I had an answer that was like a reference to like Les Mis or some crap. I cannot remember what it is.
I'm a filthy American. I have no opinion.
My opinion is that it was a mistake
Oh, why is that?
because I think it would be funnier if they kept being separate states.
Okay.
That's literally it. That's really it. I just think it would be funnier if they were they were still separate states. Because the thing about the unification of Italy is that the language of Italy is essentially constructed.
Mhm.
So the Italian that we think of as being quintessentially Italian literally was made up for unification of Italy. And essentially it is the dialect of Tuscany that was then kind of formalized and then spread throughout Italy. Beforehand, each region had their own language and their own way of speaking. And even to this day, there are some regional like bits Italian that directly reference the language of their area rather than like like a specific general Italian. But the thing is that this Italianization of Italy was so successful that like literally like 90+% of Italian speak Italian as their primary language. And these regional languages are essentially like dying out. But this was a very, very quick transformation. Like at the end of like World War II, for example, like less than half the population spoke Italian. They would still speak their regional language. So the industrialization and the urbanization of Italy contributed to the spread of Italian, which again is way like 1861 isn't that long ago. In European terms, that is. In American terms, it's like 1,000 years ago. but but so in a way, that is also like one of the sad things about the reunification of Italy is that all of these smaller regional languages are almost lost now because there are so few native speakers. Uh, it is sad, you know. And by the way, the reason why this Tuscany dialect was spoken was because it was essentially the language of these intellectuals who did want to play. But also it was the language of some of the most popular work in Italian history. So people were already reading this stuff. So we might as well just use it anyway. There you go, there's your history lesson.
I said glazed over.
Mark this podcast is educational.
The next question is from Genetics, Genetics ooze enthusiast who is at Genetics. My favorite Kyo Wolf hybrid. Her question to us is, why is Gen Gen? And also, if all the gens join force into a Gen Voltron, could we potentially overpower the Maze and Lunas? Very good question. So, why is Gen a Gen? That's
If I wasn't Jan, I would be some other name.
Well, a rose by any other name would be just as sweet, Jen.
Her name is Jen because I don't like her full name.
She didn't want to call me Jennifer, and she didn't want to call me Jenny, so she started calling me Jen, and it kind of caught on.
Fascinating. And if all the gens joined forces into a Gen Voltron, would you be able to overpower the Maze and Luna?
I think it's rather in poor taste that she asked this because we did try that, and just we can't even form a Voltron anymore. We lost like at least one of the arms worth of gens. So yeah, the Lunas fight dirty. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's fair enough. I mean, what if you guys? What if you guys believed in yourself? Maybe that could help too.
I guess it's a first, man.
The next question is from Domi, who is at Domi do not star.ori. The question to us is, do you like trains? Yeah, I like trains, I suppose.
I'm an American. What are trains?
Think of your light
So
rail.
imagine
I like trains. Okay,
imagine a burger. Imagine if the burger was like a hot dog, and instead of it being a hot dog, it had wheels, right? That was steel. And you know how when you go to a sushi restaurant, there's that conveyor belt? So imagine the hot dog is on the conveyor belt, but instead of the conveyor belt being made of rubber, it's made of steel track. And you could be inside the hot dog. And because the hot dog is long, it can have many people inside the hot dog on this track that move, right? And that is what a train is like. It is like a burger.
But how do they get all that steel track to move the train along?
Electricity or something. Or magic. I don't really know. At this rate, electricity is like magic.
Electricity is magic. Electricity is this weird, convoluted thing, and when you think you understand it, well, you probably do because it's not that complex, but it's still weird.
I agree. I mean, you push a button and the lights turn on. That's magic.
I had to learn the math of
You-
electricity, and I'm like, oh, I thought that the square root of -1 was a funny little quirk. It actually does shit. Fuck.
The next question is from Viv, the Ashton lover, transgender flag, pride flag, who is at carbonate_Ashton. The question is, favorite meme of 2025? Neocat Bloof? Yes, Neocat Bloof. Cute.
I know Neobot. I'm called out.
My favorite meme of 2025 is I want to say knee surgery, but that was last year, wasn't it? Oh, that sucks. I mean, if I bring it back this year, then it's my favorite meme of 2025.
Yeah, asking me to figure out which year a specific meme is from is already a big ask, so I'm just gonna say Juggernaut bitch because that one holds a special place in my heart.
I have one specifically. Although it would probably have to be something with Teslas and garbage cans.
The raccoons trying to break
Yes.
Cybertrucks.
Yeah.
The raccoons are what?
Oh, did you not hear? You know Cybertrucks.
The swastika.
Yeah, the swastika.
Right.
They look a lot like American dumpsters. And there have been reports of raccoons actually trying to break into the swastikas thinking they're dumpsters to get food and stuff out of them.
Makes sense. They clearly generalized this idea that, dumpster equals food.
Yeah.
This thing looks like dumpster, ergo food inside.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Unfortunately, it's the wrong
raccoons
kind
aren't
of trash.
native.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, raccoons aren't native to Europe, so
Oh,
I don't know. So I've never seen one in real life. The close analog would be like a fox. Like they commonly rifle through dumpsters and and bins and stuff. They're quite wily creatures, foxes are.
Oh yeah.
I they scream really loud.
yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a raccoon either. Like I've always lived near cities, around cities. They're around, but
They're good at fighting.
yeah, they're pretty adept at
Actually, no, I'm
evading
changing my
detection.
answer. I'm changing
Oh,
my
okay.
answer. My favorite meme of 2025, which is actually from several years ago, is a raccoon trying to wash a piece of cotton candy because they wash their food in water, and the cotton candy dissolves away, and he just picks it up in his little paws and he's looking for the cotton candy. And it's the saddest thing ever, and I feel bad for laughing, but it's hilarious.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with me, Jen. That's quite heartbreaking.
You're losing so
You
much
made this.
respect for me now.
As long as you don't send it to him,
I don't know if I could find it easily.
you probably could.
Remember when there used to be web search?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like that's so last year. Having web search, having functioning web. I mean, if you put a swear word in there, then
Then it might
it will
work.
be it might work. Yeah, the thing about the Elon Musk and his swastikas, so to speak, is that like I feel like if you buy a new Tesla of any variety, then you are supporting him. Like if
Yeah.
you already own one beforehand, then, like and it's not a Cybertruck, then I can understand it because like they have been popular cars and so on, and a car is just a huge purchase. I totally get
And of
like putting a
course,
sticker on to say
they're decent. They're decent
I
enough cars. Like
yeah. I feel like as long as you put a sticker saying, "Look, man, I bought this." Like the other day, I saw one that had a sticker that said, "Look, I bought this before
free
before he
Elon.
went crazy,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, I understand. Like I get it. Like getting rid of a car is like a hassle and stuff, and not to mention that bec- that getting rid of a Tesla specifically now is is going to be a hard bargain to reckon with because I imagine not only will the value of them decrease because of Elon Musk,
Mhm.
but also many other people were trying to get rid of them because of Elon Musk. I won't judge you if you drive a Tesla, but if you drive a brand new one, then I definitely
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who has, I want to say it's a Model S, and she bought it back when you bought it and it included free charging for life or whatever. So
right.
she's been driving on Elon's dime. I kind of like that, but I just cannot get over every time I got in that car, my head would be bumping the ceiling because they're very low, and she's taller than I am, and I really don't get how she can comfortably drive that thing.
Yeah, I feel like I mean the Model S and other cars in that kind of like big small SUV type deal is they always have a really sloped like roof in the passenger section,
Yeah.
and it's really annoying because like you would want a SUV at least to be like a boxy kind of shape so that you have ample headroom in the back. But because they have this obsession with making it look as streamlined as possible with a swooping coupe style curve, despite the fact it is a bajillion ton SUV, you have no headroom in the back.
Yeah, well, this
It
is
is
a
annoying.
Model S, not a Model X. It's the sedan version.
Oh, the sedan. Right, yeah, yeah. Same is true for sedan though with the looping. Like coupe style roofline.
And it seemed to be a nice enough car, but how do you not bump your head? I'll die confused about that.
And even now, like there are better options from other manufacturers who've caught up with Tesla, and not to mention the glut of Chinese EVs, which you will never experience because you're American, and neither will many European listeners either actually, because both the US and the EU have insane tariffs on Chinese vehicles, like electric vehicles especially. But surprisingly, the UK doesn't. There's only a 10% tariff on Chinese vehicle imports. So they are more expensive than they need to be, but they're less expensive than they are in other countries, which is one of the rare Brexit wins, I suppose, is that Chinese EVs exist. Wow. The one benefit of Brexit has been found. And it took nearly a decade to realize it.
Finally, you got one.
Got one epic Brexit win is that Chinese cars are cheaper.
So that means that you can get the Chinese Cybertruck. The Cybertruck looks like a cheap knockoff of the Chinese knockoff of the Cybertruck.
Man, you're so right. Oh yeah, you remind me actually. There's this one guy in Britain who imported a Cybertruck, and he is attempting to make it road legal in the UK because the Cybertruck is not road legal in the UK in any way, shape, or form. One, it is too heavy, so if you want to drive it, you would need a Category C license, which is reserved for driving lorries and buses. So you would need to take a special test to drive a Cybertruck, which is reserved solely for large goods vehicles and buses. So you basically need a bus driving license to drive a Cybertruck because it is so heavy. Like the limits are based on weight plus like laden weight as well as the vehicle's weight.
Yeah.
So the Cybertruck itself is below the limit, but as soon as like one person gets in the car in it, then it becomes it goes over the limit for a regular like passenger driver license. Secondly, so he is trying to do so many different things to make it road legal. All of which are, and the thing is that because applying for road legality is not like ticking off boxes, you have to like specifically apply to get it checked out by the Department for Transport. So it's not like there's like a whole list of things they can check off. What it has to, each case is considered by itself. And one of the things he's really having trouble with is the light on the Cybertruck. Because one, the front lights are in a position that's too inappropriate. But more crucially is that the rear lights don't have separate turn indicators. But the light bar is one single unit and therefore needs to be reprogrammed to have separate indicators. But in order to do that, he needs to basically strip the car down, rip out all of the electronics, and then try and reprogram that just so it has indicators on the back that aren't flashing brake lights or whatever. And that is small fry in comparison to so for example, the other thing is that the edges on the thing are way too sharp for any vehicle. So that needs to be like softened and sanded down and stuff like that. And then there's like crash worthiness. So it is just not crash worthy at all. Like it has no crumple zones, so to speak. So it would fail the crash worthiness thing. There's like loads of other like minor stuff. Race like steering, for example. Or like the wing mirrors and things like that. Like the wing mirrors, I think another issue, like they're too angular or whatever. So if anything happens that they won't fall off in an instant. So yeah. And he is spending loads and loads and loads and loads of money just to make it roadworthy in the UK. He I think he's even trying to apply for a Category C license just so he can drive it himself. Which again, remind you, requires you to take a separate test that is much, much more stringent than a regular driving test. And it's designed primarily for cargo vehicles and buses.
Is it cheaper to rent like a racetrack and charge people to drive it around the track once or something?
Right, exactly.
God.
And then charge them for the repairs because once you hit a bump when you're trying to cut that corner too close, all the electronics are just dorked out.
Zoop. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you said, reprogramming. When it goes through
Yeah.
a puddle, all the rear end electronics just completely get fried. So imagine going to all that trouble to reprogram them, and it lasts for one puddle. It's not like it rains a lot in England, right?
No. England is famously a very dry country. In fact, this guy, I believe he lives in the north of England, which of course is the driest part of the country. You know. Okay, next up. Flight Bites told you hello.
Hello.
Sim Trickle. This is distributed Sim Trickle. Oh, what emoji is that? Oh, it's a blob hatch. Okay, it's a blob hatch emoji. Node. So this is your alt account at blob hatch zone. Do you think Sim? Do you think Symmetrical has too many alt accounts?
No.
Okay.
Considering
Right.
I know,
The next question is.
considering I know all the
No, go
counts that most people don't know, yes.
The next question is from Richard Symmetrical Peanut Node. And this is your old account, which is at which is
Okay, you just give a look. It's the one at Sweaty Girl Ball Church, isn't it?
yeah. This is Symmetrical
We're now marking
at
it explicit.
sweaty.girlballs.church. This is a go-to social instance. Okay. Do you think Symmetrical has too many old accounts?
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I only did those
Next one is
two.
You had
next one is next one is from Yuki, who is at yuki@boy.lgbt.
who is Jen's headmate.
Yeah, do you think Symmetrical's headmates do not have enough alt accounts?
No, they only have like one account each. It's weird.
All right, cool. And next up is from my beloved Cat Salad, who is at Cat Salad at infosec.chain. Infosec chain. Do you like polka dot shirts? And then my counter question to her was, when will we get married? And then she made a.
Okay, what was her question?
Polka dot shirt.
Oh, sorry. Oh, her question. Do you like polka dot shirts? Yeah, I like polka dot shirts.
It depends on the size of the polka dot. If they're huge,
I mean, they are.
like boob size,
Yeah, I prefer.
like that would be too much.
I agree. If the dots are too big, then you just have a really
Weird
you have a
shirt.
shirt that inspires trypophobia in people.
Yeah.
I think small dots are good.
I think they look good on her, but not on me.
Right. Okay. This is of course not related to the fact that Cat Salad is wearing a polka dot shirt in the profile picture. And of course my counter question was, when will we get married? Which he replied to with a blushing emoji. So that could be soon, of course. The next question is from Kurko, who I have regularly beaten to death with a shovel. Just so you guys know that Symmetrical here is also on my beat to death with a shovel list. You've made it. You're there. You're on my bully list. You're on my bully list.
I'm on the cheesecake list.
Yeah. See, Monica is safe, like, because I like her. But Jen, you're on the shovel list.
I'm okay with that.
So the question from Kirko to us is, the two guests and Yaseen, oh god, suddenly switch locations by magic for 2 hours. How do you create chaos for the others? No crimes, otherwise it's too easy. Well, I know what I would do.
Uh-oh.
I would take your child.
Oh wow.
And I will buy them all of the sweeties and candy they want, and do all the things that you normally would never allow them to do. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just doing it. And then before we switch back, I will say, this is gonna be how we'll do things from now on. If I say anything different, I'm just messing around with you, okay, kiddo? And then I go back home.
So we're switching bodies, is what we're saying. We're not switching just physical location.
Oh, Oh, right, location. Oh, in that case, I would still take your child out to get ice cream and do all the stuff that you wouldn't do with them.
I mean, we're pretty
I mean,
loud.
it'd be weird. It'd be like, hi, I'm friends of your mom. Where are they? I don't know. But let's go out for ice. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you know what? This all sounds really strange. Actually, yeah. Like, hey, kiddo. Like, I have appeared. Your mom and your other mom, they'll be back soon. I'm their friend. Let's go out for ice cream and do other stuff. Yeah. What I'll do instead is I will go to the store and buy ice cream, and then come back and say, look, have all the ice cream you could eat. And then I think that'll be enough. I think giving a child loads and loads of ice cream is a recipe for disaster.
I don't know if you would eat it.
Oh, I know. I'll let your child play on draw on the wall,
Like, what?
draw on the walls,
Oh, draw on the
like with
wall.
crayons and stuff.
I mean, all that does is we just need paint. Paint over it.
You're breaking their heart.
No.
I would.
We're actually pretty
Because the
chill
child.
parents.
Yeah. Like, okay, the child stuff is out of the question. Okay, fine. I will. I know what I'll do. I will. I'll play violent video games in front of your child.
This is violence. Like, he likes Monster Hunter, so.
Yeah, at least
I'll
that is
play
something we try not to
Postal.
do.
I'll play Postal, which is considered
Oh,
one of the
God.
most horrifically violent games ever. I'll do that, and by doing that, I'll traumatize your child, and oh, that's ethically bad. I mean, it would cause chaos.
To be fair, he
But
might actually leave the room.
maybe I should move on from trying to use your child to cause chaos, because I feel like because you're such chill parents, like that wouldn't work out as well. Okay, how about I? See, there's. Oh wait, hang on. I just realized that would be a crime if I did that. Wait, is it? Wait, hang on. Is it illegal to sell video games to under 18s?
I don't believe it's a law so much as just a policy everybody has.
I think
Oh, then it's not.
stores
Okay,
have
then it's not.
that, but I don't think.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you can still
it's
play
not
it
like
in
a.
front of
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I did that in Britain, I think that would be illegal because you're not supposed. Because it's a law. It's the law that you're supposed to follow their age ratings. So I suppose. Oh, but it's not a crime over there, so it's fine to play Postal in front of your child. Okay, there we go. Then even though it would traumatize your child, I will do that. I will play Postal in front of you.
Fair enough.
No, I know what I'd do. I would painstakingly move all of your furniture 2 centimeters away from where they should be.
That would get me.
That's diabolical.
That would get me.
You monster.
So you like fall back into the sofa and like, wait, huh? Why did I fall onto the armrest? Psych, because it got moved 2 centimeters away from where it should be.
That's not even a full inch.
Exactly. That, that's what I would do. Okay, that's my answer. I'm locking it in.
I don't know what I would do to cause chaos for you that wouldn't be illegal. All I can think of is I would go on all your alt accounts, like not your main, but all the ones you don't use that often, and just replace the PFP with mine.
No one would notice. It would
That's
be
the
all the
beauty
same.
of it. No one would realize. Or maybe I'll just Photoshop your profile pic so that the face is replaced with the QR code.
You could
Oh,
just
that'd
flip
be
them all
funny.
upside down.
Like I'm in distress. Like
The yes flag is being flown upside down.
I think the most chaos I could cause would be attempting to live your life normally. and messing everything.
Just be as normal as possible.
Just completely replace you. Just a random. This woman just shows up in your spot and just tries to be.
Just wearing a little sticker that says, "Hi, my name is Yaseen." And just playing it straight the whole time. Like,
Yep.
What do you mean I used to look different? Explain how. What do you mean?
My skin tone has always looked like that.
I'm just very surprised. Yeah, see, we're going for the fun ones, and I think yours would be like actively malicious.
Delicious.
Just gaslight everyone in my life.
Like you choose violence.
Cry, cry. I'm actually crying. Like there's tears. Relax.
I think the best part of this question is just watching the joy on Yassi's face as they try to figure out how to ruin my life.
So Machiavellian of me. Okay. The next question is from Worm is after Tauber, who is I pronounced it right. Hooray! Who is woe is me at mk.up. The question is, do you have any cat colon free? I don't have a cat.
We do. I wish we did.
I wish we had a cat too, but yeah.
I think our kid might be allergic because he did not do well when we went to a friend's house and she had cats. And these were the sluttiest cats, just trying to get all in his face too.
That one cat would just climb on your lap and just help me just all up all over your chest.
She's one of my friends that I'll just rock. I was like, oh, hey, whatever. And then I'll just focus on her cat. No, really, you're one of my best friends, but your cat, girl, your cat.
The next one is from me again, and I said, "Oh, okay, just me saying that." The next question is from Green. What emoji is this? It's the blob cat present emoji. Help edition, who is green at mk.app. So they want to know about the body mod because you said Gen body mod, so that's
because the Sunday or Saturday before last, I finally got my ears pierced and I got that tattoo on my arm. I showed you that, right?
yes, you did.
It's on her profile. You missed.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. Yeah, it's a nice little Full Metal Alchemist transmutation circle with my HRT date written on it in binary coded decimal. Just a very neurotypical thing to do.
Very normal of you.
Not a nerd at all.
No.
And the final question of the day comes from is Tasty ISO at Kitsune's opinions on garlic. I think it's pretty good food.
I like garlic, but there came a point when she was adding way too much garlic to everything that I've kind of held off a little. But I really like garlic and things.
You're not beating the vampire allegations, dear.
I like garlic.
I like garlic. The problem is I was using just dried garlic powder and a lot of stuff, and you really have to pour that in to get enough flavor out of it. But then it's overpowering. Like freshly crushed garlic, that's the good stuff.
Especially when you fry it in oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pro garlic household.
You're supposed to look at my dad. Hello, father. What's up? Oh, inflation's up. Oh, right. It went into 2.5. Yeah, it's bad at inflation. Did you have a good day at work? You you got berated? Oh, you didn't? Did someone else get berated? Why did you mention getting berated? Oh, yeah, I know, but you said you didn't get berated. But why would you bring that up? What? Can you, can you can you please be quicker? With this quiche on the table. Quiche. Can you close the door, please? Close the door properly. There we go. Alright, I'm back.
You're leaving this party, right?
Where I just where I just talked to my dad about inflation. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll leave this part in. I'll leave this in. Anyway, that was the that was the last question. I'm happy to end it here if you guys are.
Yeah, we gotta go get the kids soon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
We have to
Okay,
go be
okay,
parents.
look.
So yeah, that's actually really good timing
Boring.
wrapping up about now.
What can I say? I'm good at timing. I'm glad this episode didn't go on for like 4 hours like the other ones did. Anyway, so this has been the Yascast season 2 episode 3.11 for Workgroups. With none other than Jen.
Are you waiting for me to say something?
Yeah, I was ready to say. Okay, you know what? Actually, let me start again. I'm just gonna start this bit again.
What am I
Okay.
expected to say? I'm so confused.
No, I don't know. You're just supposed to say like hi, goodbye. So I don't know. Anyway, I'll start again. Don't worry.
Sorry.
All right, so that's the that's it for this episode. This has been the Gascast season 2 episode 3.11 for Workgroups, which is a reference, of course, to Windows 3.11 for Workgroups. No surprise there. This episode has been featured with Jen and Monica, who is symmetrical at Anaris.family and Warm Heart Snowdrop at Tsukihime, respectively. Did you guys have a good time today?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I'm glad that you both had an amazing.
It was fun being on.
It's fun, yeah. I'm glad that we managed to. I'm glad that we managed to arrange it all and all that kind of stuff. It sucks that the audio issue with your end was sort of, but whatever. We got something in the end. Hopefully, it will sound okay. If it doesn't, then well, that's the audience's problem, not mine.
I'm apologizing in advance.
This episode was hosted, directed, edited, and presented. No, I already said that. Never mind. By me, Yaseen, who is at Yassi_J at Lab. Today's guests were Jen and Monica, who usernames have already been said. This episode was mixed and mastered by Gamer at bungle.online. The opening theme tune was composed by Ellie, who is at ellie@yearning.gay. And the cover art for this show was created by Len, who is at len@neon.network. That is a lot of usernames for me to remember all in one go. It's good night from me, Yaseen. Good night. And good night from my guest. Oh, it's actually like the afternoon for you. But you can say good afternoon.
Good time zone.
Good. Have a merry time zone to you.